It's week 5. If you're struggling, you got guys on bye week, and you're injury riddled like I am, stay tuned because we got some suggestions for you this week. Welcome to Seeing This Unfiltered. Hey everyone, welcome to Seeing This Unfiltered. We got week 5 fantasy football. X, thank you for joining me again. Congratulations on your win. You're now 1-3 instead of
the boys
0-4.
got it. The comeback is coming. It's
the comeback is real.
Like the storm.
If there's anything we've learned is whatever X tells you to do, you do the exact opposite. Because I believe he said to start Aaron Rodgers last week. So
that was a rough one.
But yeah, I mean, things are heating up. A lot of injuries. I mean, Devontae Adams, where is he going to go?
Requesting that trade.
Biasly, I would love for him to come to the Niners and we get rid of Ayuk, but it looks like he's probably going to go Jets or the Saints. So, I mean, if he wants to win the Super Bowl, you might as well come to the team that's most prepared, right? But I don't think the Jets or the Saints are Super Bowl ready right now.
The Jets have the defense. They just don't have the offense.
Do you really think Aaron Rodgers has another year or two in him? I really don't.
I think if he got Devontae Adams, he would. I think that would be a reason. I think that would be a reason.
I don't think the Saints are ready, though. I think they were a huge overreaction.
Yeah,
but this is for Griff, since Griff always asks and he watches. This is Thor. You got a nice new fresh cut right there. So he is nice and trimmed. And you will hear him barking, and if I'm not able to cut it out, I apologize in advance. But the wifey's at the store, so I'm on dog duty. Well, to start it off too, the Titans got their first win, so I can't sit here and troll X all week. And they're on a bye week, so they're not going to lose. Hey, what do you know?
Hey, you know what? Will Levis will find a way, brother.
Oh,
Will Levis
man,
will
dude.
find a way. Mason
Will
Rudolph,
Levis, please come.
Mason Rudolph.
No.
Let's go.
You know Will Levis is a better quarterback. Stop. But we're going to just start off. So if you're new here, we go through quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end, and defense. We're going to tell you who to start, who to sit based on matchup. We're not going to look at the high-end guys like Mahomes, Lamar, Jaden Daniels.
Mahomes
now
is not a top quarterback anymore.
In general,
brother.
you have him, you're starting him. You're hitting him, you have him, you start him.
Brother.
But we're looking at some of those mid-tier guys, kind of could be a flex. Maybe, now with bye week, right? Week 5 buys, you got Lions, you got, Tennessee. Who am I missing here? Tennessee, you got Eagles, and I feel like there's one more that I can't think of off the top of my head.
The Eagles is a rough one.
Yeah, especially for me. But we're going to do that. We're going to go through some fantasy football bets, or not fantasy football bets, just some bets in general for week 5. Talk about money line, over, under, and total points. And then we're going to kind of just go through some questions we've been getting at the end. And please like and subscribe. Check us out. We upload every week on YouTube, and it's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. In addition to that, we also uploaded, what's that?
Chargers on a bye week.
There you go. Chargers are on a bye week. In addition to that, you can go to our website, www.seeinsusunfiltered.com, and we have all of our information there. So I'm going to start off. Starting at quarterback this week. I'm taking Justin Fields versus Dallas. Dallas defense just lost Micah Parsons, and they lost Lawrence. Dallas defense has been horrendous. I am dropping him in all leagues. They are no longer viable for me. Justin Fields, he's a runner. He's a track star. I did that intentionally for the young folks, the Gen Zers, on that song. Justin Fields should have a good week. Dallas is banged up. And, I mean, honestly, I think it's like a week-by-week basis. Russell Wilson looks like he might come back. But for the first time, I think since last year, I'm going to start Brock Purdy versus Arizona. Brock Purdy's been pretty consistent. Arizona has been meh. Their defense is meh. Their offense is great, but they're going to go against a really good Niners defense. So I think Brock Purdy has a day. Kittle's semi-healthy. Debo's back. Ayuk is there as a distraction, I guess. But I think... Yeah, he got paid. He's going to be lazy, but I think Purdy's going to do pretty good this week, and they're playing at home. So I always like Purdy at home. But I am sitting Kyler against San Francisco, and that's only because they're playing in San Francisco. Even though their offense has been a little bit better, San Francisco defense is top tier, and don't expect him to have a high point total that he's had in the last couple weeks. A surprise maybe for some. I'm going to sit Sam Darnold against the Jets. I know the Jets we just talked about have a good defense. But Sam Darnold's on a tear this year. I just think defensive-wise, and they're playing in England. And there's a thing about England games, and I talked about it a lot last year. For some reason, they're always weird. And low scoring, I don't know if there's ever been a high-scoring England game.
I don't know.
And that time difference is just killer. And I really don't anticipate their offenses in general doing very well. So I would stay away from both Jets and Vikings offenses this week unless you absolutely have to. You got to do what you got to do. There's bye weeks. X, who are you starting this week?
So starting, I'm actually going to start Trevor Lawrence against Indianapolis.
Do you trust him?
I trust Indianapolis to be bad, is what I trust. So, to be quite honest, Indianapolis is an absolute crap show right now. I mean, what I'm really kind of basing this on is Flacco not starting. If Flacco starts, they might have a chance. But I still think that Trevor Lawrence is going to be able to pick apart that defense. The Colts, if I'm gonna quote it from my boy. I didn't fact check it, right? So, Facebook can get their amazing fact checkers on it. But my boy says that the Colts have not beaten the Jags in Jacksonville in the past 10 years.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm taking that off of his word, right? We're not, I'm not fact checking.
This isn't the presidential or the vice presidential debate. We're not fact checking here, okay?
Yeah, fair enough.
It's opinion based.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, you know what? Even top analysts are still opinions, bro. So, you know what?
That's fair.
Whatever. But regardless, I'm going to start Lawrence against Indianapolis. Indianapolis has a terrible secondary. Their corners are absolute garbage. They did nothing over free agency. Their D-line is good, but at the same time, too, you just do little short routes. It's over. I'm actually going to start Mayfield against Atlanta. The reason why I'm going to start Mayfield against Atlanta is because Mayfield goes on a 2 to 3 week tear and then absolutely craps the bed for a week or so and then goes back on that tear again. And I think he's back on that tear again. Atlanta, I don't think they are really going to hold the ball for a long amount of time, so I feel like Mayfield's going to have a lot of opportunities. I'm going to sit Derek Carr against Kansas City. For some reason, Kansas City, just that defense, for some reason, they could just get it done almost every single year and every single game. Carr right now is just in a weird slump. Alvin Kamara is still doing great, which I appreciate, but Carr right now just needs a little bit more help. And like I said, Olave is an absolute joke, not a tier 1, just like Drake London, not a tier 1 receiver at all. Maybe a solid number 2 at best. Even I feel like that's being generous, but he just doesn't have the weapons. But if he gets reunited with his boy Devontae Adams, we might have a team here, boys. Then I'm also going to sit Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers against Minnesota. Aaron Rodgers is looking like a joke right now. Minnesota's offense is they're just going on a tear right now, so they're running that hot streak.
Yeah, I'm right here I said we weren't going to fact check, but I'm running that back because I heard the little birdie say that Chris Olave is a second tier receiver. But the last time I checked, especially this week when you're playing my wife, he's ranked number 19. Mom.
And there we are.
He's scored over 16 points the last 2 weeks. So that's more I can say for Ayuk and 16? Ridley. What about Ridley? Is he better than Ridley?
Yes. Ridley's garbage.
Okay.
No, well, you know what? Let me say Ridley is garbage because our offensive line is garbage. So yes. Our offensive line is the worst in the NFL.
Well, I mean, Trevor Lawrence's offensive line is like P. Diddy's door, dude. It's wide open. I mean, too soon?
Get it, brother.
Man. But anyways, so next we're going to go into running back. So I'm actually starting Swift this week for the Bears against Carolina. Carolina, you want to talk about a shit show? Carolina's a shit show. I mean, they're probably worse than the Titans. Andy Dalton isn't the savior. I mean, we overreacted. He's not.
I don't think so.
Swift had a big game last week, and I think Caleb Williams is realizing that he needs to rely on the run for the pass to open up. So they're going to heavily start relying on him. I think just Carolina, he has a good matchup, especially with all these bye weeks in hand. He's a definitely start. I'm starting James Cook against Houston, or at Houston, and that's just because, I mean, he's going to get a lot of dump offs. He's going to get a lot of yards. For some reason, last week on Monday night, Josh Allen didn't want to rush the ball a whole lot, which I thought was surprising, considering he's a runner, he's a track star. So, I mean, honestly, for Cook owners, it really opened up the door and allowed you to get a lot of points. So I'd keep riding that hot hand and keep starting him. I'm sitting, though, Zach Moss against Baltimore. Baltimore has a really stout defense. Cincinnati's going to have a real hard time this week. And Zach Moss as well. I don't really like that matchup at all against a strong Baltimore defense, arguably probably top 2 in the league. And then Ramondre. So that's kind of a story in itself. I don't know if you've been kind of keeping up with that.
Yeah.
Ramondre's been fumbling the ball a lot, like every week. And their coach this week, Mayo, right? Mayo's the coach now.
Yep.
He said that he is considering starting Antonio Gibson over him. So, Gibson was like, second, third stringer for the Commanders last year, but he's more reliable in the sense that he's not dropping the ball a whole lot. So, Stevenson owners, you either need to pick up Gibson or just wait a week and see what happens. But if the fumbling continues,
do know that he was a player, and that might also be just a little bit of a stunt to get Ramondre to get himself together.
Hopefully.
So, understand that.
Hopefully. But, I mean, you would think he had baby oil on his hands or something, as much as he's been fumbling that ball. So.
Was it the diddler?
No, not the diddler.
He went to one of those freak-offs, didn't he?
No.
Oh, man. They love when he fumbles balls, don't they?
Oh, Jesus. This show's just going to become Diddy jokes.
Well, if Diddy would stop being a weirdo, then we wouldn't have these jokes.
Oh, my God. So, who are you starting this week at running back?
Running back, I'm actually starting the boy, Aaron Jones, going against the New York Jets. For the simple fact that I think that the Jets offense isn't going to have the ball as much, and I think it's going to give Jones a lot of opportunity. Nonetheless, Jones has, weirdly enough, been pretty productive all year. 18 points first week, 9 points week 2. That was his worst game. Third week, 26. Then we're going back into 17. He's been pretty much double digits every single week. That is consistency, and that is what we are all about, boys. So that is solid. Make that happen. Then I'm also going to start Walker against the other New York team, going against the Giants. Walker is doing he's consistent. He's doing Walker
when
things.
healthy.
When healthy, 100%. He does strive to get injured all the time. But he made a big comeback last week, racking up the old 33 points. Pretty solid. So I think he's a good shot to still run, especially against a New York Giants team that thinks they found an identity, but they just got lucky. I'm going to sit the boy Breece Hall against Minnesota. Breece Hall is doing weird stuff right now, doesn't know what's happening. They're finding out that their rookie is a little bit of a speedster and can break out little chunks of yards. So about Allen.
Yeah.
I think his workload is going to be definitely cut into, because right now he's running just purely off name. He's not doing a whole lot, and that offense is kind of in shambles right now. So I would sit Hall this week. Minnesota's still running on a tear, so I wouldn't trust it right now. I'm also going to sit James Conner against San Francisco. I think that's a solid decision. Conner is a weird running back to me, because there are some weeks where he is a pure PPR running back, and then there's other weeks where he, I don't know, dude. He looks like an explosive back if you just hand him the ball. So he's really weird for me. I've never really liked him, but he's weirdly ended up on my.
That sounds very personal.
Start. No, not really personal. It's just Conner is weirdly inconsistent. He's weird in a Kenneth Walker sense, but Walker is more consistent, which is why I like Walker over Conner. But Conner's weird, and then he gets plucked by injuries randomly. He's got a weird quarterback. I don't like Kyler Murray.
You just say him because he's short, bro. Come on.
Nah, man.
Leave the short kings alone.
Problems. Dude, he's like my height, man. He's like 5'10", 5'11". Dude, he's my height.
We get a fact check? We're fact checking.
Yeah, fact check. He's not super short, dude.
He's 5'10". He looks like he's like 5'8" out there.
Exactly. That's because you're
You're only
going
5'10"?
No, I'm like 5'11". But
it's like I'm 6'2". So
close enough. Close enough, dude. Close enough. All right. Your receivers, bro. Who do you got?
All right. I'm going Debo versus Arizona. Like I took Purdy, so you got to follow the trend. Debo's back, baby. He's back. Ayuk is trash. We know this. Debo can run the ball. He can receive the ball. Purdy's going to throw it to somebody. And who else is your most reliable receiver on the team? I know you like your boy Jawan Jennings after you talk crap about him, but it's fine. Jawan's still going to be the option, but Jawan is the number 2 option at this point. The Niners are going to win the game. Jordan Mason isn't going to just get 3 touchdowns.
Dude, you might as well just put a pride flag in the back. Right.
That's fine. Hey, Niner pride, baby. 2024. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Bang Niner game, dude.
Niners fan loves their pride flag, don't they?
And then next, I'm starting Jaden Reed against the Rams. So with Jordan Love healthy and playing, Jaden Reed is a start or at least a flex. He has opportunity for huge games. And because of that, I think you have to start him. And the Rams is just completely decimated. Their defense or offense, it's not looking good. We lost him, so I can't really talk too much crap. But just in general, like I think Jordan Love is going to have a great day with Jaden Reed against the Rams, who are hurt, broken, and they're going to have a lot of opportunities to score. So I really like him. Dontavian Wicks is an honorable mention there. He has a high projection this week. I don't know if I would take him that high with the Christian Watson injury, but he's definitely somebody that you can have as like a filler if you have a bye week guy this week. Sitting, I'm going to keep saying this every week. Until Tua comes back, Hawk Tua, you are not starting a Miami receiver. I don't care if it's Huntley. You know, they're like, oh, the second coming of Jesus because Huntley's coming back. It's like, okay, he had like 3 good games in Baltimore. Calm down. You guys are overreacting. He showed up. He looks like crap. Skylar Thompson's crap. Tim Boyle's crap. Miami needs to bring back Ryan Tannehill. That's all I'm saying. At least we have some kind of promising figure there that can at least get the ball in someone's hand. And unfortunately, right now, for your Tyreek Hill owners or Jaden Waddle owners, it ain't it. The running backs is kind of where it's at. Honestly, it's just a chain until a chain gets hurt. You're sitting those boys. You ain't touching them until Tua comes back. And because of what I said earlier, I'm starting Debo, but I've been talking a little crap, throwing a little shade. You're sitting Ayuk this week against Arizona. Ayuk, I mean, do you want to share a little bit of your insight on this one? I mean, you kind of made some comments earlier about Ayuk, so I thought I'd give you this opportunity, X, to kind of just shit on him.
I'm gonna pass on this one. I'm gonna pass on this one. I'm gonna give the viewers a break, dude. I'm gonna give the viewers a break. I am every NFL player's number 1 hater, dude. So you know what? I'm gonna give the boys here a break. You know, let them breathe for a second. But once we get into tight ends, I'm gonna go wild.
Okay, well, that's not what I was looking for. So Ayuk gets paid. He's lazy as hell. He literally looks like he's hardly breathing, like not like from exhaustion, but like because he's not trying on the sideline. It's like the dude got paid and he's chilling. Like, that's cool. Send him to the Steelers. They ain't going to win a championship. I can promise you that. Send him to the Raiders. We'll take Devontae. At least it gives us a better chance of winning. This guy is not good. We overpaid him probably by like $15 million if we're going to be real. He's at least worth 15. He's a second-rate receiver, but I don't think he's worth a 30. I mean, I don't even own an Ayuk jersey, nor have I ever considered getting an Ayuk jersey. I would still buy a Debo jersey, knowing that he might leave next year, just because I don't like Ayuk. So, I don't know, man. He's just terrible. And honestly, if you're going to do anything, keep him on your bench until he does something. And I went back his last 4 years just to see kind of how he played against Arizona. He plays good at home. He doesn't really play well against Arizona at Arizona. However, I think with factoring in this year with all the situation, and he's dropping balls in the end zone, I wouldn't even risk it unless you absolutely have to. And I think this week I absolutely have to as I'm talking all this shit. Don't start.
Yeah. No.
So, sorry, I had to rant a little bit. All right, you got started at receiver this week.
This week, I'm starting Addison against the New York Jets. The reason why I'm doing that is because Sauce Gardner is going to probably be covering over Garrett or Justin Jefferson.
There you go.
I had the Jets on my mind. He's going to be covering Justin Jefferson. That's going to probably be a stuck one-on-one. Wherever Jefferson goes, Sauce Gardner is going to go. Majority of the time, that defense doesn't really move him around very much. They normally don't. But as a coaching staff, if you see that, you have a superstar receiver, and that defensive coordinator, for some reason, thinks he's got Jesus guarding both sides there, then you're just going to put Justin Jefferson on the other side. Let Addison deal with Sauce Gardner all day and let Jefferson just expose everything. No, you're not going to do that. As a coaching staff, you would be an idiot. How you got an NFL job would be beyond me. But you're going to put Sauce Gardner one-on-one wherever he goes. That's all Sauce Gardner's going to do is just be on Jefferson all day,
For sure.
any day. So Addison, I think, has the potential to have a really big game. As I said before, I like Jones as a starting running back. So I think that offense is going to have a lot of opportunities to do a lot of things.
We're leaving him in here. Finish your thought.
I know. The next one that I'm going to start, Deontay Johnson versus Chicago. Deontay Johnson is benefiting big with Andy Dalton there. Even though you might want to sit Andy Dalton, you're still going to start Deontay Johnson because Deontay Johnson has a high ceiling as far as Andy Dalton being there. Sitting, you're going to sit T. Higgins against Baltimore. T. Higgins is a super inconsistent receiver that loves to get injured, have one big week, and have 5 bad ones. Not worth it. Not worth it. If you have somebody else, put him in there. I have no choice, so I have to start him and pray to the fantasy gods. Next one you're going to sit, the boy I just talked about this entire time. You are going to sit Justin Jefferson. There he goes, dude. He heard it. He heard it, dude. The diddler just broke in, dude. He's trying to save your life. He knows things that you don't. It's like
well, it was good while it lasted.
Get the diddler right in the face. Right in the face.
I'm going to close the door on him. It's fine. Door shut.
All right.
You're staying with mom now. Diddler's going to get you.
Oh, yeah. So, you're going to sit Justin Jefferson for all the reasons I said before about Addison.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I agree. It's going to be a tough matchup. If Sauce is lined up on him. If for some reason he's not, it's going to be real interesting.
That would blow my mind.
So, tight ends, for the first time probably in a year, that since I've started doing this, I don't know if I've ever said to start Freiermuth. And it might be an overreaction. You're starting Freiermuth this week against Dallas. That's how much Dallas's defense is hurt. Like, they're just, it's in shambles. They're trash. Like, literally, they're so bad. I think they might be 28th ranked. If I double check fantasy stats, I don't remember off the top of my head.
Dude.
They're not very good. When the Denver Broncos are the number 1 defense in fantasy, please diddler me that, huh? But Freiermuth, he has a good matchup. Dallas usually doesn't do a whole lot against opposing tight ends. And Justin Fields is going to throw it to somebody, and if it's not Pickens, it's going to be, or I guess Calvin Austin too. He's still not fantasy relevant, but Freiermuth should have a good week against Dallas. I don't know who I'm going to pick this week because I haven't done those yet. It'll be interesting. I'm going to kind of do those on the fly. I actually like Cole Kmet this week against Carolina. I know Cole Kmet's kind of been like on and off, but like I said, with the run game, as it opens up, the passing game is going to be there. And Caleb, he's not Bryce Young bad, but he'll be fine. He's done better. And I think as the weeks go on, he'll do better. And I think that's something that we've even talked about. We know transitioning to the NFL isn't easy, but Cole Kmet should have a pretty good week as far as your tight ends are concerned. And I just want to make a statement now that tight ends in general, for some reason this year, haven't been doing anything crazy. Like in years past, I mean, Kelsey was going first round. Where's Travis? Like, I don't know. Did he find out that Swift was at the Diddler Mansion? Like, I don't know. I have no idea. That was a meme on TikTok. I do not claim that. But, in saying that, I'm sitting Conklin against Minnesota. Minnesota has another top defense in general for the first 4 weeks, I should say. Minnesota has a great young defense. They're very good. They stopped the Niners. They stopped a lot of good teams. Conklin has just not been showing out at all. You would think Aaron Rodgers loves to throw the tight end. He'd be doing it more, and he hasn't. Aaron Rodgers is looking horrible, too. And I'm sitting Kyle Pitts against Tampa Bay. And this hurts me because I used a half decent pick on him. And I have him and I have to start him. But if I had a better option, I would sit him. Kyle Pitts was nowhere to be found last week. And I think he scored 0 points. And I think the only person to do worse than him was Jaceki, who got 0.10 points. 1 catch, minus 9 yards. So, yeah, you ain't gonna. Honestly, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I'm just so dumbfounded at how bad he is. It's not even him. It's just Kirk Cousins in that Atlanta offense. X, who you starting this week at tight end?
Starting at tight end, you got to run with the hot hand with the boy Kraft against the Rams. I watched that game. That dude was all over the place. That dude was just being used left and right, just utilized. But he had a really good game. We don't know if that's just his one game of the year that he's going to be good for, but he is, I would say, give him the chance. We'll see what we can do. He showed a lot, and I think as a coaching staff, that would be something that you would want to utilize. I'm also going to start the boy Kittle against Arizona.
Oh, there it is.
Yes. So Kittle is due for his time. Arizona right now, Arizona's just a weird team to me. They have no identity. I have no idea what it is they're trying to do. I understand Marvin Harrison Jr., blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, too, Kyler Murray everybody is weird on hyping him up. He is mid-tier at best. If Ryan Tannehill was still playing, he would be average to him in my mind. That is an overreaction. But I just don't think that offense is going to do what they want to do. I don't think they're going to be able to use and abuse the clock. I think Kittle will have a lot of opportunities. For now, you are sitting every single Ravens tight end. That team is not a mess everywhere else except tight end. I don't even know why they use a tight end. It makes zero sense to me. Harbaugh saying, Andrews is gonna get the ball more. He's gonna be explosive. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's just simply saying that so other coaches will be like, oh, we need to watch Andrews. But nobody's that stupid. Andrews is dropping passes on his own, dude. What do you need to cover him for? He's just going to screw it up on his own.
What about Likely?
Dude. No. Likely was a one and done, dude. He was a one and done. He was a one pump chump. That's all he was, dude. Trust me, he would not make it at a diddler party. Not at all.
Oh.
Second guy is going to be the boy Firemouth. I'm actually sitting him. I'm sitting him against Dallas.
Oh,
Firemouth, dude. I understand. Look, Pittsburgh lost to the Colts. It's like, what do we do? What are we doing in the first place, brother? What do we do? The Steelers can't get it together. Nobody knows what's happening. They were 3-0. There's a Steelers fan at work that wouldn't shut up. And I'm so happy that they lost to the Colts, dude. Because now I just get to look at him and just be like, you lost to one of the crappiest teams in the NFL right now, dude.
Well, they lost to the Colts or they lost to Joe Flacco? They lost to Joe Flacco.
Both.
Joe Flacco's the GOAT, dude.
Doesn't matter, dude.
Super Bowl quarterback.
It's the same as a win is a win, brother. It's the exact same. So, Firemouth against Dallas, no. Dallas, yes, they lost a lot of key pieces, but they still have a good coaching staff. Maybe not when it comes into playoffs, but regular season, they still have a good coaching staff. So I figure that the coaching staff will be able to figure it out.
All right. Well, starting at defense, I'm going to give you the top two defenses this week, all right? You got the Denver Broncos against the Raiders, and I'm starting Seattle. Seattle against the New York Giants. Two of the trashiest offenses in the league. Denver's defense has been a top defense all year long, and so is Seattle's. I don't like Las Vegas. Their offense, they're not going to have Devontae. Devontae's played his last snap there. There's just no world where I fathom that he plays this week. And I don't see Zamir White doing anything against Denver. Their best receiver is going to be either Jacoby Myers or Trey Tucker. I like Trey. But let's be real. They have the best corner in football right now. And Patrick Surtain. So it's going to be a rough one for them, in my personal opinion. And then Seattle always has a good defense every freaking year because they're in my division and we have to deal with it twice a year. But New York Giants organization, and here's shot number 1 to New York Giant Joe, is trash. You got your first win. Who cares? They're still trash.
Yeah.
You take trash out of a dumpster, it's still trash. Okay, doesn't matter. I'm sitting in Arizona and San Francisco for all the reasons for the last freaking 30 minutes that we've been talking about. Arizona's going to have a tough time this week. I think Debo and Kittle and Mason are going to have a field day. I use Boo-Boo, and he can go somewhere else. I don't even care where he goes. He can just sit on the bench for all I care. And I'm sitting Los Angeles Rams versus Green Bay. The Rams defense, as I kind of alluded to earlier, is completely just... I don't know what happened. Aaron Donald retired, and everything just went up in smoke, and I don't know. It's just, they look like the Raiders. Well, actually, that's a lie. The Raiders have flashes of good moments. Los Angeles is a dumpster fire. You can put that dumpster fire, you can put it in your kit. No, I'm not going to go there. They're trash. That's all I'm going to say. They're trash. And Green Bay's going to have a field day with them. X, who you starting at defense this week?
I'm starting Miami against New England. The reason why I'm doing that is because New England is still a joke. They're not changing from that. Their offensive line is terrible. Their running back situation is a joke right now. I mean, there's no reason. Yeah, I understand Miami's offense right now is terrible too, but it's not that bad. So Miami's going to have a lot of opportunities, and I think they're going to have so many opportunities that they're just going to end up annihilating it. So, I am also starting Seattle against New York Giants because the Giants are still a joke, dude. Just because the Titans got to win doesn't mean they're still not a joke. The Giants are still a joke. Colts are still a joke. Titans are still a joke. It is what it is, brother. You just got to eat it. I'm sitting Cleveland versus Washington. I don't like Cleveland's offense is still a mess. The one thing that I tell everybody when you're looking at either starting or sitting at defense is you need to see how that offense is doing, because that offense is going to be eating up the clock and allowing that defense to not be on the field. I understand that there are some leagues where defensive points are a bigger, more integral thing. A lot of fantasy leagues don't even want to deal with it, so they just have it on the basic settings. And if you have that defense on the basic settings, then you're just looking for your defense to keep the 10 points. And that's why you look at how well the offense is doing for that team. For this example, Cleveland's offense is not staying on the field at all. They're constantly getting off the field, and that gives the other team an opportunity, their offense, to score points, and then your points drop. So, things to think about. Now we're going in to Dallas versus Pittsburgh. I'm sitting Dallas's defense for the injury purposes, but also I don't see that Pittsburgh stingy defense really letting Dak Prescott do everything that he wants to do. The Cowboys don't have a running game, so I mean everything's obviously just a pass. I mean, Pittsburgh's got to be well versed in that. And Pittsburgh has one of the best coaching staffs. So they'll figure it out.
Yeah, and I would say even another point is Washington's red hot. Their offenses are scorching. Jaden Daniels is absolutely having a hell of a year. I mean, I know it's early.
Right.
But definitely Offensive Player of the Year candidate. I think Malik's up there as well.
Yeah.
Harrison's been okay, but I would say for me it's Daniels and Malik would be the two guys that I would have up there for that race. And I mean, Washington has a half decent defense. Like, we're not saying Cleveland's defense is bad, because Cleveland's defense itself is not bad, but their offense is just so bad that it allows for more opportunities, like X said, for that defense to have to be on the field and give up more yards.
It's the same with the Titans. Titans are the same way.
And I want to clarify too
defense.
with the scoring. So like, we use the Sleeper app, not a sponsor. However, in that their basic settings, that doesn't account for yards. Whereas like I play an ESPN in my work league, and that accounts for yards. So you're getting points and yards taken down. It's like you might as well not even start a defense at that point, because people are getting -1, -2, -3.
Yep.
And I think those old settings of yards allowed should probably be removed. And if you want to add in extra boosters, I know X has mentioned to me in private, which we'll probably do next year, is adding some more points so defenses are more viable. I could see that as possibly be moving to a more standard norm, just because defenses feel kind of pointless. I would say kickers, but I mean, unless your name is Aubrey, then I mean, I think he's like top 20 fantasy player right now in all positions, so which is nuts, by the way. It's freaking crazy. So next we're gonna get into our week 5 football bets. For some reason I like to call them fantasy football bets. It's not fantasy football, it's just betting on football. So obviously if your state allows for betting, Vegas, not California, other places, I know there's a lot, just California's not on it, you are able to do this. There are apps. You can go Fliff, you can go BetGM, MGM, FanDuel, DraftKings. So first game of the week, we got Thursday Night Football. We got Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Atlanta Falcons. Falcons are favored by -1.5. To start it off, honestly, I'm taking Bucks at +1.5. For all the things I said about Baker Mayfield, even though Atlanta's at home and it's a dome and Kirk does well in the dome, I just think Bucks have a little bit more, I don't want to say oomph. I just have a gut feeling that they're going to win. And I think they're going to win by more than, well, it doesn't matter at this point. They're going to win. So I'm taking Bucks at +105 and the total at 43.5. Probably take the under on that personally. I think it's a little high.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. Yeah.
Next game, we got New York Jets versus Minnesota. And Sunday at 9:30 Eastern. It's a 6:30 a.m. game for us West Coasters, but it's in England. I'm going to just reinforce that. The game is in England. What have we been seeing with England games? The score is not crazy. The time difference is killer. So New York Jets, Minnesota Vikings. Vikings are favored by -2.5. I'm taking that -2.5 just because the Jets offense is so horrendous. So I'm taking the money line for the Vikings, but the total at 40.5, I'm taking the under because I do think it's going to be a low scoring.
That one, yes, definitely the under. I'm going to take Minnesota. Yeah. Yep.
Next game, Carolina versus Chicago. Chicago's favored by -4. Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern, so 10 a.m. No, not all the normal games are coming out. Ooh, this one's a tough one. So even though I like to talk crap about Andy Dalton, I mean, he didn't do terribly bad, but the Panthers defense is trash. And that organization is just not it right now. Christian McCaffrey is lucky that he's out of there. I'm taking the Bears at -4. Give me Bears at home. They proved me wrong last week, so I'm going to take Bears at home. I'm taking the -195 money line, but that total is going to be under. I don't think Panthers score as much as they did last week.
I'm going to go Carolina.
Taking Carolina?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yep. 100% I'm going to take Carolina. Got to take Carolina. Definitely going to go under, though, for sure. I think Carolina only wins by maybe a touchdown. That would be it, though. But yeah, I'll take Carolina for sure. Chicago's offense can't do anything. You're overreacting on Swift.
I think he'll do good. Carolina's is really bad. Buffalo Bills versus Houston Texans. Texans are favored by -1.5. I'm honestly taking Buffalo Bills at +1.5. If there's anything Josh Allen has taught us is not to doubt him. And Houston, even though they have all his pieces, unless your name is Nico Collins, who's the guy? He's like top 3 receiver, I think, right now in fantasy. I just don't see it happening. CJ's been okay. He hasn't been like that number 1 overall pick like X was saying at the beginning of the season. He overreacted hard on that guy.
All the potential.
And so for me, I'm taking +1.5 on the Bills. I'm taking the Bills on the money line, but the total there,
way too high.
I think the total's going to be, I think it's going to go under. They both have decent defenses. Houston probably a little bit better, but I think it'll be under on that.
I'll agree with your under, but I will take the Texans.
Yeah, you better hold it to the rest of the season because you said CJ number 1 quarterback. Crazy. Next game, Indy Colts versus Jacksonville. Jacksonville is favored by 3. Honestly, I'm taking Jacksonville on this game at -3, taking the money line at -145, but that total is still way too damn high. I'm taking the under on that.
I agree with everything.
Boom. Next game, Cleveland Browns versus the Commanders. So, for reasons that X has said maybe like 5 minutes ago, if that, Taking the Commanders at -3. Money line on the Commanders, but that total, I'm taking. I'm taking the under just because Cleveland has
Yep.
such a bad offense.
I agree, 100%.
Okay, mind you, we don't script this. This is all on the fly. We do these all on the fly. So, next game we got Miami versus New England. New England's favored by -1.5.
No.
What?
No.
I mean, they don't have a quarterback. I mean,
No.
neither does the Patriots.
No.
Betting wise, I would stay away from this game by all means because you
Yeah.
never know. Like, I wouldn't even touch this with a 10-foot pole. But I'm taking Dolphins at +1.5.
Yeah, no.
I'm taking the total's at 35.5. I'm taking the under on that too,
Yeah.
just because they're so bad.
Yeah.
I'm taking the money line on the Dolphins. But
Yep.
still, in general, stay away from it. Like,
Yep.
that's such a toss up in general.
I agree.
Next game, we got Baltimore -2.5 versus Bengals. I think their favorite should be higher than that. Bengals have not looked good this year. I think they just got their first win, but they still don't look good. Like,
No.
Jamar Chase had a little bit more touchdowns, but
No.
Baltimore's run game is nasty. Call it for what it is. Derrick Henry, like, I was talking a bunch of crap. I thought he was old. Nasty.
Like
He just put up
I've
200
said
yards.
for years, you feed the beast. Just feed him. Just feed him and he gets stronger, brother. That's all it is. Just feed the beast. Feed him.
Maybe that's what the Cowboys need to do to Ezekiel Elliott. Just keep feeding him, dude.
Yeah. No.
But -2.5 is, if you can go and you're going to stay that bets, take that -2.5 spread easy. That's easy. That's free money right there for me. I think they should be favored by at least 7.
Yep.
And you're going to take the Ravens money line, but that total,
No, not even close.
I
Not even
feel like
close.
that's high, dude.
Way
Yeah,
too
that's
high.
high.
Under.
Yeah.
Sure.
I was like, the Ravens have an explosive offense. Bengals can, but I don't think they can do that against the Ravens defense. So
No.
definitely taking the under on that.
Yep.
Next game, we got Arizona versus San Francisco. San Francisco's favored by -7.5. See, this looks like what I thought the Raven and Bengal game. I think they're just going on name value for that last game. This game, yeah, I'm taking San Francisco at -7.5. Yes, it can get weird because it is a divisional game, so don't be surprised if it's like by 3 or something or 4.
Oh, yeah.
They win by. But Niners are going to win, -350, and that total I think is way too damn high.
Oh, yeah.
Way too
100%.
damn high.
100%.
Honestly, just go in and just bet under on all the games. Like, you're going to make some money. Like, this is these totals are high.
Yeah, stupid.
I mean, we've seen some games that have been only like
Yeah.
like a touchdown and a field goal. I mean, it's
Dude, not even the NFL refs could follow this script. No way.
Next game, we got Raiders versus Broncos. I would argue it's the boo-boo game of the week.
Yes.
Yeah, so Broncos are favored by -3.
No.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. Raiders
I'm
have beaten
going Raiders.
so Raiders have beat Ravens, and then last week they just beat the Browns, who have a good defense. Broncos have a great defense, but Bo Nix last week at halftime had negative yards.
Yeah. No,
And
Raiders.
he had thrown, like, he completed passes. He had negative yards. I
Raiders.
think it was like -1 or a 9 or 11, something like that.
Yeah.
So
I
for
would go
me, just like
Raiders.
X is saying, +3 on the Raiders money line, but that total's going to be under
Under. Yeah.
with no Devontae. For
No.
sure. This is going to be boo-boo game of the week, and I'm going to be surprised if they show it on TV.
Yeah.
Next game, we got Green Bay versus the Rams. Green Bay's favored by -3.5. I think taking Green Bay at -3.5 is easy money.
Yep.
Los Angeles Rams, for all the reasons, if you watch this entire episode, you'll know their defense is just terrible right now. That total, though,
Under.
I don't know. I'm honestly, I know it's going to sound weird. Packers have a half decent defense, but I think I'm going to go over on it, and only
Ooh.
because the Rams, for some reason, can still score points. They can't.
You're a mad.
Kyron, it just depends if Kyron. Well, I'm
You're
just taking the
a
over.
man.
I need one.
You're a
I
mad.
need one on the over. That's my game. Next game, we got New York Giants versus, they should just call them the New Jersey Giants. Versus Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are favored by -6.5. Yeah, I'm taking -6.5. See, they are in Seattle, and that's what we were trying to figure out earlier. The 12th man, New York is not going to go into Seattle and beat Seattle. Geno Smith's probably going to throw another ball to DK. So I'm taking the money line of the Seahawks. That's total at 42.5. I'm going to take the under only because I don't have faith in the New York Giants just getting any offense going. Their offense is Malik Neighbors, and he's in concussion protocol.
Yep.
You agree?
Yep. 100%.
All right. 2 more games. We got Dallas and Pittsburgh Sunday night. Not a bad game. asked me before the season, I've been like, what are we doing? Now might be a decent game. One team has a boo-boo offense and one team has a boo-boo defense. What's going to happen? For me, all right, this is going to hurt a lot of people here, and it's going to hurt me as a fan as well, but I'm taking Cowboys at plus 2.5.
I
never thought I'd hear myself say that.
I am too.
I like Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh defense. I love TJ Watt. I am starting Justin Fields still just because he's a runner and he's going to put up points. Dak's going to figure it out. Dak always figures it out. They started picking up stride last week. The total, though, for me, I think it's going to be over. I know that's kind of interesting.
Going to be my over.
For sure.
It's going to be my over.
Because I think the Steelers should score off the boo-boo Dallas Cowboys defense. But even though the Steelers are going to be tough, I think Dallas will be able to figure out Joey Porter Jr. and still score with CD.
Yeah, this one's going to be my over.
Yeah. Last game, we got the Saints versus the Chiefs. Now, if this was 2 weeks ago, we might have been going crazy. Or X would have been going crazy and been like, Saints are taking this. No problem. Saints to the Super Bowl. Derek Carr's the GOAT. Blah, 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 blah. All right. We get it. We overreacted. You know, if the Saints acquired Devontae Adams, now we might be talking because they'd have Devontae, Olave, and Rashid Shaheed, and they'd have Alvin, and they have Taysom Hill, and then they'd be like, okay, now we're talking.
But wait till they get Devontae.
I think he goes to the Jets. So for me, I'm taking Kansas City. All that long talk just to say, I'm taking Kansas City at -5. Kansas City has the refs on their side. They always figure it out. There's always a late holding call, late defensive pass interference. They're going to win. Travis Kelce, I mean, he might still have some boo-boo stats, but they're still going to win. However, because the Saints defense is not bad, I'm taking the under on this.
I'm going to take the Saints, but I will take the under. I'm still
taking the Saints.
I'm still on the Saints.
You're taking the Saints at +5?
I'm still at the Saints train, bro. I'm still on it.
God.
I'm still on it. Yep. I'm
taking Chiefs.
I think they can do it.
-5 for me. I'm taking the under just because I just don't see it happening. Even though Kansas City lost Rashee Rice, I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be fine. So, wow, that was interesting. I did not expect you to say that.
Yep. Still on it.
All right.
Still on that crazy. Had to censor myself.
So this is the last portion of our show where I have not even been bugging. I've been asking you guys, ask us some questions. Hit me up. Text me. Who do you start? Who do you want me to pick up on waiver? The thing is with these episodes, we film them Wednesday night. They come out Thursday, so the waivers have already happened. So the waivers are a little harder. That'll probably be more social media that we can do those on if you want us to. But like every week, I mean, we talked about the bye week already. We do the overreaction. We do, honestly, the panic. And I kind of just want to touch on it a little bit because I didn't really get a whole lot of questions, except for people's teams are just absolutely crumbling by injuries. If you have Devontae Adams, expect him not to play. Have some kind of backup. I'm in that position in a 14-man league. It absolutely sucks. If your guy's on a bye week, pick up somebody. Drop a boo-boo player. I mean, there's plenty of guys out there that people have like Jerry Jeudy, and they're kind of consistent, but is it enough to keep them on your team? I mean, drop them. If you have a high-end defense, don't drop them. Just pick up a defense for a week and then slap them back in. Because I see a lot of people doing that.
Yes.
People who are dropping Mark Andrews, I get it. I absolutely get it. But when he goes for 2 touchdowns in a couple weeks, I'm going to laugh because he's going to be on my team. So that was a shot somebody directly at work in my work league who dropped Mark Andrews. You overreacted. Yeah, it's been 4 weeks, but you overreacted. Look at history. They'll figure it out. Whether it's him or likely, someone's going to get the ball at some point. Whether it's this week or not, I can't look into my crystal ball and tell you that one. But and then I want to address very quickly, teams that are 0-4, you need to start panicking, especially if you lose this week. It's going to be really hard to get into playoffs depending on how your league is looking. Now it's probably time to start making those trades and trying to figure out a way to elevate yourself to get some wins and to try to sneak into playoffs. If you're 1-3, don't panic just yet. It's okay. Season's still new. If you have people who are not undefeated anymore, your season's even tighter. Or your fantasy season is even tighter of a race. Relax. Make your trades if you need to. Look at waivers. But there's a lot of injuries, and that is very unfortunate, but that is football. So, anybody besides Terrible Towel, Pittsburgh Steelers fans and terrible Colt fans have been hitting you up?
So the big thing that I've been getting is trades, and I am going to stress this enough. Do not be afraid to trade. For some reason, in leagues, people are afraid to trade. Do not be afraid to trade. Don't be. And like I said on the first episode of this podcast, you as an individual make a tier list in your head. You have your superstars, okay? Your superstars. Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, your superstars, right? The superstars that lead the team, that are the team. You put those in your head. Okay, these are my superstars. Then you go high tier. High tier, you're going like DK Metcalf. You're going right now, technically, would even still be Derrick Henry. He's still a high tier. You're going Kenneth Walker, high tier. You're going Alvin Kamara. Kamara's not a superstar yet, but he's high tier. He's borderline superstar high tier. He's sitting in this weird spot. Those are going to be your high tier. Your mid tiers are going to be like your Tyler Lockett's, your Brandon Cooks, your James Connors. They're going to be your mid tier. Those are guys that aren't consistent enough, that can get dropped, get picked up on waivers. Those are your bye week guys. Those are your on the fence guys. Those are going to be your mid tiers. Okay.
I don't know if I agree about James Conner being mid tier as far as the players that you name.
I still think he's mid-tier.
I don't see any league, but honestly, I don't see any league dropping James Conner. I'm telling you that right now.
Because everybody overvalues him. In my opinion, he's overvalued. He's overvalued. People think that he is high tier. He is not.
You're going to make me do some fact checking now.
Go ahead.
Let's go.
Go ahead. He gets injured every single year. He is not consistent.
No, I agree he gets hurt, but so does Debo. But you're not dropping Debo.
I don't even know why you have Debo. I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
I've never put him in a league, and I never want him in a league. Ever.
All right. Well, I had no better option at that point for me personally.
That's fair.
Week 1, 19.3 points. Week 2, 19.4 points. Mm-hmm. Against a good defense, against the run. Detroit, yes, 3.5 points. I hear it. Week 4 against Washington, who has a half-decent defense, 18.3 points. So this week he's playing against San Francisco, who is a good defense, hasn't been incredibly great against running backs.
So
he is still a touchdown threat and a red zone threat. I would see him having problems against the Jets in Week 10, Minnesota in Week 13, and everything else on my list.
It's possible for him to have a good season. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. This might be the season that, to me, right, this is my tier list, to me, propels him into high tier. Maybe. I don't know. But as of right now...
Are you taking Austin Eckler over James Conner?
No.
Okay.
Because...
I would consider him mid-tier.
I would consider Austin Eckler low tier. I would consider him low tier. So anyways, you make these tier lists in your head. Okay? So when you're going through trades, superstars are 1 for 1. They're equal, right? So you could swap them, no problem. You shouldn't be adding anybody else. If you are, in your mind, a high tier player and you are trading for a superstar, you need to do a high tier and a mid tier. If you do a high tier and a high tier, you've overvalued. You're going to lose in that trade.
I think it depends.
No, I don't think so.
It depends on the superstar, in my opinion. It really does. If you have a guy like Christian McCaffrey come back, who I'm just saying, say CMC comes back and he's putting up 33 points. Right. Yeah, I'm trading you DK and another high tier guy that I have extras of for CMC because I know I'm guaranteed 30 points a week.
Now, see, that's a factor because right now in one of my leagues, I am stacked at running back. I mean, stacked. I got Zach Moss, Montgomery, Kamara, Henry, and Mason. I am stacked at running back. These dudes are putting up consistent double digits every single week. Now, would I trade 2 of them because I need a receiver? Would I trade 2 of them for a receiver, a superstar receiver?
Hell yeah.
I could afford it. I could afford to do that.
Hell yeah.
So that's where it comes in a little bit different. But that's where it's got to come to you as an individual of your experience in fantasy and your understanding of football. And if you're just starting, yeah, trades are probably not for you, and that's okay. Live off the waiver, dude. Figure it out. Feel it out. And you'll be like the rest of us. But For those of you that are afraid to trade, you're stupid. Stop it. You're ruining it. You're ruining fantasy. Stop it. It's embarrassing. And stop doing stupid trades. I'm going to say it every
That
single
too.
time.
Yeah.
Stop doing stupid trades. If you send me a stupid trade, it's insulting to me because you think I'm dumb enough to take it. And what am I going to do? I'm going to trade you Miami's defense for Lamar Jackson because that's how stupid I think your trade was. And that's what I'm going to counter with. And if I could do a giant middle finger, I would, but I can't.
You could.
Sleeper
You
doesn't
could.
allow me to do it.
You tried. Okay.
Yeah. No, I've tried. Because that's what that person deserved. Do trades. Okay. Experiment with trades. It's okay. It's fantasy. We do it every year. It's okay. Experiment with your trades. That's
and on that
my spiel.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think on my note for that, I mean, I think it depends, right? Like, so we're in a league, family and friends, where we have some newer people, so they're a little more cautious, and it makes sense.
Fine.
But like me, you, Bob, Bebo, I'm trying to think who else, Duff.
Yeah.
I feel like we're pretty experienced as far as trading wise. And I think too, so like I'm a league commissioner in 2 of the leagues. One's a family and one's the family and friends. And then I'm in another league for work. I guess I'm more speaking to the league commissioners. If you see a trade, like I have it in the sleeper league where I can actually immediately just decline it straight out. If it gets accepted and I'm saying like, no, I don't think this is fair at all. I'm also the league commissioner, so I'm allowed to do that. You should talk to your people about whether they're okay with that. But I think at the end of the day, if it's something that's so one-sided where you're just like, absolutely not, veto it and explain yourself in the chat and move on. Because like, I think in my family league, there was a worthy for Isaiah Likely trade. And I let it go through because I looked at their stats and I was just like, I'm going to be fair with it. They both had one big game and then they didn't do anything after that. But now in hindsight, whoever ended up with Worthy obviously just got a huge boost because of Rashid Rice coming out. But same can be said if Mark Andrews gets hurt, Isaiah Likely's going to have a big boost too. So in that case, I let it go through, but I knew in the back of my head, I was like, Worthy's going to be good by the end of the season. That person's going to win that trade. I would even say like spousal trades. So this kind of got brought up. So in that league, it was a spousal trade that happened. It was not me or my wife, but a spousal trade has happened in that league. And there was the 2 people that traded. So to me, I was just kind of like, ooh, if this was my family and friends league, they sure would have had something to say about that. However, I let it go through. So I think as long as it's fair, and I know the people in my league mates are not going to be okay with it. And no, I'm not trading my wife any players. We've already made that rule between the 2 of us because everyone's going to cry like a little bunch of little bitches. As long as it's fair, it's just got to make sense. I like to use the Walter Picks app to kind of just gauge trade as well to see what the value is. And I did that with that trade and it was kind of similar. So I let it go through. And don't be afraid to veto trades. So there was another thing where that trade went through and a bunch of people texted me. I'm like, if you don't like it, veto it. I don't care. Like, don't ask your league commissioner to veto it for you. Just if you don't think it's right, veto it and move on. But also don't veto it just to be a dick because, I mean, people want to make trades, let them make trades. It's fine.
Don't do that.
It's just got to make sense for everybody.
Don't do that. If you're going to do that, don't play fantasy. Don't play fantasy.
Right.
It's as simple as that. Like, literally, just think common sense. If you are playing fantasy because majority of the time you watch football. So you have your views, you have your understanding of football. It's really not rocket science. It's really not. And the problem with fantasy is we as normal people, I mean, I've coached football, but still, you overthink. You overthink a lot. Just don't. Some things are so simple. Sometimes 2 + 2 is just 4. It's as simple as that.
Thank you for everyone for sticking around. If you want us to go over like waiver wires, if you want us to go over like trades, if you want us to go over just bye-week stuff, like you can comment on our Instagram. You can go to our website, www.fantasyfootball.com. You go to our Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, you name it, we're on it and we'll respond. And I'm the one who kind of manages a lot of that stuff, but I'll even ask X. Like if you want X to answer that question, you could be like, hey X, what do you think about this? And I will literally screenshot it and send it to him or have him go check it. Or you can just respond. I don't know if you have Instagram or not. But no.
I have no problem, dude. I have no problem responding. I don't have Instagram, but
you have Facebook.
I definitely have Facebook. But,
well, I can just do it through you can just tell me and I'll respond on the.
You can show me a screenshot. I'll answer it very, very quickly because I enjoy answering the questions.
We've been kind of going back and forth, and I'm going to kind of see. I have some personal stuff going on, so we're going to kind of see how that goes. But I do want to do a live show. I feel like that'd be fun, where I just kind of stream it to like TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all kind of simultaneously, and then try to figure out a way to see questions here on my left side. I have 2 monitors, and that could be pretty fun too. To maybe shoot the shit and kind of see where everyone's heads at too, especially if we can get the boys on. I think that'll be a lot of fun. But like I said, thanks for sticking around. We're gonna have our locks this week. I didn't have a chance to make them, so I'll post them on our website and I'll post them on Instagram like I do every week. But until then, we'll see you next week. Peace.
Later.